Hi, I'm Tia, founder of 50minds.
I'm Keira, the marketing assistant.
And today we are going to be answering some questions. A few questions for Keira, and Keira's got a few questions for me.
Yeah, a little Q&A.
Q&A session, learn a bit more about 50minds and what it's like here, and the sort of things that we get up to, the sort of things that we do with clients, the sort of things we do internally, and you can get to know us a bit more.
Yeah. So first question for Tia, what led you to create 50minds?
So 50minds was created about 2 years ago now, and I was working in IT, and I realised a lot of the businesses that we were working with didn't really know what to do tech-wise, and people tend to use IT providers as like putting out fires in a sense that we've got a problem, it needs to be fixed. There wasn't many businesses helping them actually get the most out of their IT and their tech and their systems, and it wasn't really something they were looking for. So that's when I sort of came up with the idea. I knew that I wanted to be starting a business, but I just didn't know what that business was to be, and that's how I realised that actually that's the thing that's really needed in the market, especially where we are in the southwest. Feels like sometimes we are a bit more behind with technology, so being able to help these businesses get up to speed really felt important to me. And also when it comes to AI and automation and this sort of tech revolution that's happening, it's so important now that these businesses get this support as well. Yeah, absolutely. They need to get the support, they need to understand it and see how it can really genuinely help their business. So yeah, long story short, that is right.
Perfect. Why the name 50minds? I really want to know this one.
I get asked this a lot and it's not a good answer because I think it is quite an interesting name. And yeah, so people do ask me, most clients do, and it's not a fun, it's not a great story. It was actually because I didn't think that it would get to this point, right? I didn't think that I would be having it printed on t-shirts anytime soon, so it wasn't something I thought too much about in the beginning. So I used an AI logo generator, and actually I believe that this was actually the logo that it created, an AI logo generator with the name 50minds underneath. So I checked that it wasn't like in use by anyone else, and I just ran with it. That is it. I don't think I considered anything else.
Just ran with the AI fully through and through.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to use something now, I'd probably come up with an even better name. But it's a bit late now. It's stuck. Yeah. It's stuck with it. So that's how it came about. It's AI generated. It's just almost like so perfect that actually it's just AI generated.
There's a lot of hype around AI. What do you think businesses are getting wrong about it? What's the main thing, main misconception?
Just one.
Just one. I mean, you can expand if you want.
Of course I will.
Yeah.
I think the main thing that business owners struggle with is this mindset around AI, is that there's AI from a user's perspective. So you go onto ChatGPT, you go and ask it a question, or you go and generate an image. There's this, how can you use it as a user, which is pretty much what everyone thinks AI is. Whereas business owners need to be looking at it from a different perspective when it comes to how their businesses run and how to really get like the return on investment out of it, which is not how can our employees use it as a user, as in go to it, use tools that they type things into or get things generated by. It's the back end processes. And that sort of mindset shift is something that isn't really something that you see everywhere. It's not talked about very often, but actually the importance of having it in the back end processes, because that's where the real time saving and money savings come in. Because if you're using a tool, you still have to go onto that website, and you still have to wait for it to load up. The copy and pasting. The real time savers when it comes to AI is have it happening in the background, so you're not copying and pasting something in. It's happening off the back of a trigger, such as the receipt of an email or those sort of things automatically happening. That's where the real time saving are, and that mindset shift a lot of business owners just haven't don't even know that it's something that needs to be.
They're not even willing to like sort of consider it, are they? They're just sort of trying to prevent it as much as they can. But I feel like it's just an amazing opportunity. I think they really should embrace it.
Yeah, it's so exciting for so many businesses I speak to. I go, this is such a big opportunity for you especially smaller businesses. Like they're in their heads they're never going to be competing with medium-sized or enterprise. You go, this is your opportunity to
exactly,
because they're going to be slow on it, especially enterprise. They're going to have to go through hurdles to get there, and a lot of them are scared of it. So if you can take it in, embrace it, and get the maximum return on investment for it, you'd be flying.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I wish that I had was some industry expertise, because I'm speaking to people that are in industries that know industries in and out, and I'm going, that mixed with AI, be flying.
Yeah,
that's what I tell people.
100%.
People don't see how impactful it can be.
What is one story where AI made a real difference to a client?
There's so many. It's definitely been the ones that have been quick wins that have just saved hours of copying and pasting in Excel spreadsheets. That's been the ones that I've gone, wow, this has made such a big difference for such a small investment of time and money, really, in the sense that I think one that sticks out was an Excel spreadsheet that they exported out of their software system, and then they take time filtering it, sorting it, and this is really common. It's really common. Spreadsheets being filtered, sorted, exported, cutting out columns, mixing it together as one spreadsheet, and then you take it onto the master spreadsheet. It's so common, and those ones when you can just you don't need this spreadsheet at all. It can literally we can take the data from here, transform it in whatever way in the back end, and then send it over there without anyone having to touch it, and that can happen daily rather than having to download a spreadsheet every week.
Yeah.
I would say I've done that in at least maybe 5 to 10 businesses, but there'll be some sort of automation that is completely taken out the need for at least 20 minutes of chopping and changing an Excel spreadsheet.
And I bet they would have at least 2 to 3 maybe employees doing those tasks.
Yeah, they're big tasks.
Yeah.
And it's the ones that people they'll be doing it every week for 20-30 minutes at least. Sometimes it's really cool to what people are doing, and you're like, well, your time could be so freed up by doing this, and it means that person has so much more capacity then to grow that team and to take on other tasks that they would go and employ someone else for. It's just the Excel spreadsheets have been my favourite ones that I've done. Like, wow, this really does make a difference for such a small business.
They're so sort of basic, but like one little change like that, it can just make such an impact on a business like that.
The quickest wins are always my favourite, because it's fun doing deep dive projects that take months and really AI heavy, but actually when it's a really quick win, you're like, wow, that's a nice feeling.
Another question for you: what sets you apart from other AI and automation consultancies? What's your sort of unique selling point, just you?
The main thing about us is, I think this is a good example of the fact that we're very personal, and we connect with you to understand your business, and you are speaking to people. At the end of the day, that's what really matters with us, and the relationship that we build with our clients. The fact that we take time to come in person, do a lot of in-person discovery.
You have done a lot this week already.
Yeah, we've been all over the country already this week, going to see the clients and building those actual personal relationships. That's when you really can understand the business a lot better, rather than looking at it from one hour conversation or a 20-minute conversation and going, that's when you need AI. You just really you just cannot understand the business in that time. every business is so unique in how they operate, and we've worked out a good way to work out efficiently what's the most important things to know and what's the important parts, but still that holistic view of business and a feel of the business, that's something that will always take so much time to understand and we really care about, and there'll always be someone that you can speak to at the end of the phone, or always keen to jump on a video call and always keen to meet for a coffee. Like, just that personal element, and also the fact that we care so much about your return on investment. We're not trying to push anything on you because we're completely independent. We just literally want the best value.
Yeah.
You're going to make the most money possible, so it doesn't bother us if you go for solution A, solution B, solution C with this provider, or whatever. That doesn't bother us. It's more what's going to get you the biggest return on investment. That's what matters to us, and whatever's best for your business, that's what we care about. And that is such a unique thing, I think, in this very tech AI world, is there's us and people, and we'll go out and speak to people. We're a very sociable bunch, so
Definitely.
and probably, I hate to say it, but the stereotype of developers are very quiet, but I can say this as
Not
the
here.
case.
Not here, definitely not. Expanding on that then, what's your sort of process on understanding your client's company, where they can benefit the most from automation and AI, and so they can maximise their opportunity for return on investment?
So essentially we use the Lean Intelligence Framework, which is something we developed internally. And the reason that came about is because when I began, I didn't have any sort of set in stone process, a set in stone framework of how to understand where you can get maximum return on investment, but I thought this must be systemized. It must be something that could be able to be worked out numerically, and whether it was going to be a positive return on investment, it should be really easy to map out. And so I sort of got my cogs turning a bit and was thinking, right, this must be a way of creating a framework that we can follow for businesses from one person to 1,000 people. Like, how can we systemize this? And that's where the Lean Intelligence Framework came from. So the name coming from implementing intelligence and automation in the most efficient and putting it where it's going to be needed most. So there's 4 steps to the Lean Intelligence Framework. So the first step is looking at existing processes. So we tend to look across marketing, ops and finance. Obviously businesses have those 3 different sort of categories in different ways, such as sometimes marketing isn't as relevant for a customer that only works in the public sector, so it may be more like looking at like tenders, funding, etc. But that's the first step, is breaking it down and looking exactly at these processes. So what's the day-to-day, what are people doing, how does it get from somebody not even knowing about your business to becoming a customer, to offboarding, how do your staff join the business, what are all of those processes. We break it all down. And then it's looking at those in steps. So what is each step of that process? Now this can sound like quite a big, daunting task to do potentially, but that's something that we help businesses break down. We break it down into very manageable steps, and also giving the employees, the people who are actually doing this day to day, giving them the opportunity to explain their processes and write out their processes is a brilliant thing to do, because one, then you have standard operating procedures, which are always really good to have documented. So if somebody was to go off ill, you know exactly what they were doing, and you can follow those processes. Or if you were to bring a new starter on, you have those processes documented. So it's a good practice to do it anyway. So that's the second stage, which is looking at the AI capabilities. So what parts of those processes, what steps, what tasks match up with those capabilities of AI? So the capabilities of AI we largely break down into data, image, and text. So what can AI do? AI can summarize, AI can translate, AI can extract text out of an image. We've got that. It's a massive list in the lead.
Massive, yeah.
There's a big list in the toolkit that we've got that sort of helps businesses go through this themselves. And basically, it's matching. It's going right. AI can summarize text. The task here is summarize the call. Oh wow, that matches. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So that's step 2. Step 3 is then looking at the return on investment. So that's key because most businesses forget that part, and that's like the most important part.
Exactly.
Because people will go, oh, that's a great idea. We currently do that. I've just seen an AI tool that does that. Oh, let's do it. And you go, well, is that actually going to be? Is it going to actually be a positive return on investment? Because there's a lot of things to consider here other than just money, which a lot of people didn't consider in the first place. First is looking at the money and time savings, right? So this task currently takes 1 hour per week. Automating it would take the task down to 2 minutes per week. The person that does this costs the business £30 an hour, or that sort of role costs £30 an hour, and then you work that out how long until we get our return on investment back. So that's considering startup costs to create a solution and any ongoing costs, which are usually really low when it comes to AI. But that's not the only thing to consider. It's also, is the quality going to stay the same? Is security going to be, or is the quality going to be increased? Hopefully. Is the quality going to be improved or at least stay the same? Looking at the security, is this as secure as doing it this way? Is it more secure as how it's previously done? Also, how you are going to do it. Is this going to be using no-code automation? Is it going to be custom coded? Are we going to use an existing software that already does this? And that's largely linked in with pricing as well, the sort of cost analysis of it. What is the person who currently does this going to do with their time? That's something that's looked at as well.
Yeah.
Which is like a key thing, because if they're just going to be doing the same tasks except that one in a day, then they actually haven't saved any money because they're doing the same amount of output. So it's actually about what they're going to do instead, and are they going to be happy with that? And also, how are we going to manage this? Are they going to be comfortable with this job? How are we going to manage this changeover from them going from doing this job for 1 hour a week? Is that going to make them feel unsafe in their job? Are they going to have a job security thing that we need to sort of bridge? And that's why making sure that they've got another task to do is something that's really helpful when it comes to that change management piece. So those are the main sort of things that I consider. And also the edge cases as well. Okay, is this going to work 100% of the time? Is there any chance that there's a case where it won't work? For example, if you're picking up, say, word or text from an image, what if the image is extremely blurry? What's our fallback? And what's the chances of fallback happening? And does that still lead to a positive return on investment?
Do you integrate into existing tools that companies have? If so, how do you ensure that you handle their data during that process?
Yes, so pretty much 99% of the work that we do is linking in with existing tools, because we're not the type of people that encourage having another software and another software and another software. Hence, we don't advise generally bloating our businesses with a ton of software. So, in order to keep it lean, we do integrate with existing systems. We don't really want people to be. So we don't really want to bloat our business by providing any more tooling that they have to go to, or another website they have to bookmark, etc. So it's all about leaning it down, and that usually involves using their existing software that they have. We would rarely go in and recommend they overhaul their software, because the change management involved is huge, and unless it provides a positive return on investment very soon, then we don't tend to do that, and it's not what companies tend to want. So we do integrate with existing systems a lot. It's pretty much our bread and butter of what we do. Data is something that we take extremely seriously at 50minds. That's always really, really high on priority list at number one, because companies' data governance is most important, and it's something that we'll always consider when we're looking at any solution. So we all follow our own processes so that obviously data isn't going anywhere when we're working on clients. We work on client data because we do go into systems usually, and obviously the way that we handle our own equipment, etc., is obviously extremely tight. But then also when we're looking at how we deploy these solutions, we're always recommending using cloud providers, etc., like Microsoft, that people are already using. So if a company is already using Outlook and they're already using SharePoint, etc., then we would want to maintain it in their Microsoft ecosystem. So we wouldn't go, right, you're on we already use Microsoft, but how about, we go and put it in another data center over here. The fact that it all stays within the same data center is really important for us. Yeah. And obviously we create our solutions in extremely secure ways, encryption, etc. But a lot of what we recommend is making sure that they're held on, like all of the solutions that we do are held on the best quality of enterprise service, which is usually what they're already using with Microsoft or Google.
Makes sense. Could you expand? You mentioned briefly low code and custom code. Please, could you expand on that a bit more? Because people might not know what exactly that means.
Yeah. So when we look at how we are going to do a solution, what's the best solution? There's usually three options that can kind of merge together a bit, but let's go for them as individuals, and then we can talk about how they can sort of link together sometimes a bit more. But there's low code, there's custom code, and then it's sort of linked in with low code, but it's software using existing software. So low code is using drag and drop tools for automation. So Power Automate, Zapier, Make.com, NA10, quite common ones that are well known. And essentially that's drag and drop to automate linking software together. They are usually using a platform that I mentioned, which is usually has software costs, and the amount that you use it, you sort of have to go up in how much you pay monthly. And that's a bit more of a simple interface. However, it still isn't that simple, and unfortunately that leaves it in a bit of a funny space where people don't feel like they can go in and change it and alter it because it's just not very intuitive. But it's also got that risk of being within a low-code platform that somebody can go in and somebody can go and mess about with it very easily because they feel that they can. It is quite common, unfortunately. So the other thing is cost. It's brilliant for very simple things, but when it gets more complex, you do need custom code or use an existing software solution. But yeah, the cost is another thing that if you use it, if it's run very frequently, then the cost can rack up. And also the lock-in of being with us, like a provider, like you use Zapier, and you have 20 automations on there, and Zapier double their price. You're in a difficult position.
Yeah.
So custom code is what we do. So that's usually Python, and we're building the solution kind of from scratch, often using external tools, sometimes using external tools. But yeah, mainly it's Python code and Python libraries. The reason that we do this is because it's very robust and it's very flexible. Like when I talk to people struggle to get their head around that we can do whatever you want. Like they go, "But can this information be filtered in this way? Can you remove those first few letters?" Yes, we can. It allows for that flexibility. You can do certain nuanced little bits in code that you could just never do in low code tooling. So that's why we recommend custom code. Also, ongoing cost-wise, pretty much every automation that we run is free to run ongoing costs on Azure, because we use functions which you get a free sort of tier, and you're using pretty much what you're using hardly any CPU, and it doesn't cost a penny. So that's another reason of using custom code, is that it's so cheap to keep it up ongoing cost-wise. And then there's using existing softwares, which is something that we don't tend to recommend that much, mainly because just again, if the vendor lock-in, they can start charging a lot more monthly, and if your whole systems are based around it, then
It's unreliable.
Yeah. You don't know too much about the business itself. You don't know where the data is being stored. You don't know if they built it 2 weeks ago. Really, not many people do this, and like the in-depth study they should do about their data, like where their data's going and what software tool they're using. Like, it's something that's hugely underestimated. Actually, what is this software doing for my data? Also, one thing with using existing software is that somebody else's system you're essentially renting. Why not buy the house if you can afford to buy the house? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you have a custom code set up, then that's an asset to your business. Potentially an asset worth the amount we paid for it, but probably worth more. Which makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Why would you
exactly.
why would you rent someone else's? Why would you pay someone else's mortgage when you could just buy a house straight away?
That was so true. I love that.
It's a good analogy, isn't it?
I love
I just
that.
thought of it on the spot.
Okay, so say you were just had consulted a customer, right?
Yeah.
They've said to you their situation. You've had maybe a couple meetings with them now. You understand what you're doing. You're in the process of developing for them. How do you keep them in the loop? Do you keep them in the loop? What sort of process of that? How do they know what's going on? What you're doing? What stage you're in, pretty much?
We're very communicative as people. We like to keep people in the loop. We like to arrange regular meetings, but we're also the type that don't do a meeting for a meeting's sake. We keep you in the loop. We'll keep you in touch by email. We'll let you test as we go, because a lot of the things that we do require testing and iterating, and quite often what customers think they want in the first place probably isn't exactly what they want on the output, or there's a lot of things that they haven't thought about that we just hadn't reached in discovery. There is only so much you can do until you get the real deal in front of you and you go, I didn't think about that. So that is something that we do a lot, is a lot of testing along the way, check-ins via email, just to let you know where we're at. And we will have meetings where needed, where it becomes relevant that you want to have a look at a demo or something. You've seen we do loads of demos.
Yeah.
We love a demo. It means you don't have to meet with us too often. You don't have to look at it, you can just see how it's looking.
Let's go on YouTube.
we do just do like a cheeky little demo quite often. So those are our sort of main ways we keep in touch with clients. But also we do meet up with clients along the way sometimes to show them in person, mainly to feed the coffee addiction that I have. It's nothing like a great excuse to meet up and have a coffee.
Yeah.
But realistically, we always will prioritise the customer knows exactly what's going on.
I do. So once you've implemented the AI and automation solutions into that company, how do you ensure that it's going to be carried on being used and not just forgotten about? How do you ensure that the staff know exactly how it should be used and implement that into their routine rather than going back to basics?
Yeah, so great question. A lot of the things that we do are back-end processes that happen automatically. So I find that we always will make them aware of how the new process will work and make the people that are involved with that process comfortable with the new process. And if it means that they have to do things slightly differently, it will be very clear that this is the way that the new system is working, we sort of get their buy-in about it. We try to really be like, this is to make your life easier. This is why you do it, and you can do more meaningful work, or you're less stressed, or you've got less to do. Like, it's all about getting that the buy-in and the understanding from the stakeholder involved, whether that's an employee or whether that's somebody at the top of the chain. So yeah, that's really important. And also, we do check in with clients to make sure that they're happy with the system, and we also offer to come in and have a look and see if there's any sort of improvements that could be made, or any niggles, well, not any niggles, but anything that they've gone, oh, could we add this on, that sort of thing tends to come up when you do those reviews. So yeah, it's all about just making sure that everybody's got full understanding of how the process works. And even if it's not getting like too technical with them, depending on who they are, is the varying levels of how technical you like dive in, but it's making them understand, okay, this works like this, and doing that in a way that it really clicks, the penny drops, this is how it works, rather than just going, it all happens by magic, because that's when people start panicking.
Yeah.
It's like, this does this, and if this, then that, and then that does that. And they tend to understand it a bit more rather than going, if you do that, that comes out. And it's like, people just don't, I'm going to trust that.
Yeah.
But when we like implement the solutions, we're like, oh my god, that's such a time saver, thank God. Like, this
the workload goes
so
down.
busy, like, everyone's so busy. Like, they're like, the last thing I need is doing that task right now, because it means that I can do this task much better. I can go on and do this, which I'm not sure I'm going to get done this week.
Exactly.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've had anyone come up to me that I'm working with, or like they've been making their life easier, and they've gone, oh, I'm worried about my job. It just never happens.
No.
We're just excited.
Yeah, exactly.
So Keira, the turns have tabled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you heard that one before? Yeah. Right, Keira, it is your first full-time, long-term role in marketing.
Yeah.
Why?
So, marketing's always been a bit of a weird one, but a cool one for me, because it's sort of, I started doing it in a work experience when I was in like year 9 at school, and I did it for a hotel, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I went fully out of my comfort zone. They literally, we would drive around to all of these different companies in like a trading estate area, and they're like, go in there on your own to the company owner and say, we're doing it was about a Christmas event, right? And they made a brochure and everything on it. I had to memorise everything because I didn't want to look at it while I was like telling them what it's about. I wanted to like be sure of myself that it's like worth it and all that. So yeah, they were like, just go in there, go into every single one, and then we must have gone to at least 50 places. And little like 14-year-old me was scared. So I was like, I don't do this, I don't want to do this. But since then, I've gained so much more confidence, like talking. Before, I wouldn't be able to even do this at all. I wouldn't even, know where to start. But, so there's that sort of approach to it as well as like in-person sort of marketing. But I enjoy the more digital, because there's so many different types of digital marketing. And it's just sort of understanding how even just one sentence can make someone click on your website and buy the item. It's like, how crazy is that? You have that power, that much power to sort of influence someone to go and buy it. I guess it's sort of, I'm fascinated by the factor of what sort of depths can you go to make someone buy, or someone interested in what you can offer, like service, product, anything. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, like the psychology part.
Yeah, exactly.
Really interesting. Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So much.
I agree.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about 50minds since being here?
It's going to sound basic, but you make companies more efficient, massively. And I just think it's a massive benefit to sort of not any business, but a business like like you know when as soon as you speak to them whether they can benefit off it or not. And I think I never knew that. Like at all, I've never heard of what you guys did before at all until I joined. And I was so in the dark the whole time when I was speaking to you. I was like, what's this all about? Like, I'm so confused. I'm so like intrigued with everything. It's just so clever. Like it really is, and it's fascinating because me just knowing ChatGPT, that's about it. That's as far as I go. But now I understand so many different strategies into how AI can really, just long term, make companies so much more efficient. And just why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And look, it feels like a no-brainer.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
not everyone has the pleasure of spending months every single
Yeah.
day with me to find that out.
Well, there is that.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
People only get sort of 10 minutes. But
Yeah.
oh, you picked up within the first couple of days. You were flying with it. You knew exactly what you were doing. You're like, this is cool stuff. I know that we can. I know we can do this.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did when you joined 50 Minds?
Well,
Other than us probably having a laugh.
well, actually, from our first meetup, wasn't it? You said, I don't even know if you wanted me to do it in the first place, but I did it anyway as soon as I got home. You were like, look at the website. Yeah, write down what you think. I think
He didn't mean to do his homework. I meant that would be the
I
first thing that
know.
we'd look at.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that. I loved that you came in with that prep. That was like.
I wanted to, yeah. And we're still focusing on the website now, aren't we?
It's a longer term thing. There's
Yeah.
a lot to do.
Yeah.
It was something that I created a long time ago, and God, it's changed.
Yeah.
since then, so we need to change how
We're
we
evolving. And
constantly.
and the website needs to as well.
True that. What have you learned about B2B marketing so far? And I think that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Most people, like before coming into the business world, especially B2B marketing, see marketing largely as B2C because
Exactly.
we ourselves are consumers,
Mm.
and B2B is completely different.
Yeah, because you're not just selling a product to one person, you're selling it to the whole crew. No, crew.
I love that.
Of the company.
I
So
love
like,
that.
you need to make sure that as well when you're marketing for B2B, you have to have so much. You have to incorporate marketing in order to get so much trust. In my opinion as well, because B2B focus so much on time saving as well, which is exactly what we provide.
Yeah.
That's one of the main factors because time saving saves money. It can give you the opportunity to focus on things that are really valuable to your company and your business and things that you might even be missing out on as well, which are just so important. So yeah, and with B2B as well, it's obviously, as I know now, it's very strictly LinkedIn, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot
I'm
of
still
LinkedIn.
grasping and getting my head around it all. Cause
You told me before you didn't just sit on LinkedIn all day.
No.
Oh, weird.
I would have an account because in college my teachers were like, get an account, you try to find jobs on there, and I was like, okay, had an account but never really used it as such, but it's going to change now.
Yeah, you're going to be doom scrolling on LinkedIn.
I already do.
You already do?
I'm in the train, I'm like,
Slippery
I
slope.
know, what we got me into.
So since you started 50 Minds, what platforms have you been using? Is there anything new that you've been using? What sort of softwares have you got involved with?
I'd say one of them is MailChimp.
Yeah.
I'm really involved with MailChimp recently. It's good fun. At the best of times.
There's a lot to
It
a lot
is.
to do on that.
It is, but it is really cool, and I've really enjoyed it. It's something that's standard across a long period of time as well, and I like that because I like investing more time into it. I feel like I get a better outcome in it. But yeah, there's MailChimp, Canva. Spent a lot more time on Canva. Already loved it. Already knew a bit about it. But yeah, it's the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Oh, it's
I didn't
crazy.
realise how good it was.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just really good at it. But I never knew that it could be that good.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'll be on Premiere Pro, won't I? It was a hassle.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I didn't really want to go back to that. But now we've got Canva, it's just so easy. Absolutely love it. Yeah, those two are the main ones for me.
And WordPress. Don't forget WordPress.
I didn't want to bring it up to be honest.
No, that's alright. So, if you could give someone advice for their first role in marketing, what would it be?
I would say, I'm a bit with you, because it's my first experience as well. And I was sort of testing the waters to see how far I could sort of go. I feel like just saying, being creative basically, and saying your opinion about everything, be brutally honest. I feel like you need to be brutally honest, even if someone disagrees with you, but what's the worst case scenario? They disagree with you, and you're like, okay, well, I'll just come up with another idea. But I feel like if they really truly are like a good leader and they want to listen to you, then when you say what your ideas are, they'll really take the time to sort of see your sort of your view of it and how much it could impact the business. I guess like I know as someone with as little experience like me, the first proper marketing job, it will be a bit scary for the sort of business owner to be like, oh my god, like I'm changing all of my ways, like all the normal ways that I would do it, and I'm literally handing it over to this other person. It can be scary, but I feel like you just need to be honest. You need to give as many ideas as you can. Just be so creative with it and give your own twist on everything. I feel like, yeah, implement as much of that in as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right there. Where any sort of good leader will really take the time to understand what your perspective, what you see, because you're somebody who doesn't have the bias of the business yet. So especially with, like coming in fresh, it's actually a massive positive for the business to have someone who doesn't.
It's an outside looking in, isn't it, really?
Exactly. And there's things that I've said that you go, what does that mean? And I've actually, you're right. Not many people are going to know what that means. Like, if you're not in the AI automation world, and how would you know what that means? That would be strange for you to. Hell, even the word AI, like a year ago, people would have thought I was talking about like artificial insemination or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's really helpful. Trust.
If you like the video, let me know if you like it or not, if we should do it again. Bye!
So since you started 50 Minds, what platforms have you been using? Is there anything new that you've been using? What sort of softwares have you got involved with?
I'd say one of them is MailChimp.
Yeah.
I'm really involved with MailChimp recently. It's good fun. At the best of times.
There's a lot to do on that.
It is, but it is really cool, and I've really enjoyed it. It's something that's expanded across a long period of time as well, and I like that because I like investing more time into it. I feel like you get a better outcome in it. But yeah, there's MailChimp, Canva. Spent a lot more time on Canva. Already loved it. Already knew a bit about it. But yeah, it's the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Oh, it's crazy.
I didn't realise how good it was.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just really good. But I never knew that it could be that good.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'll be on Premiere Pro, won't I? I'll be doing all that again. That's what I used to do all of my video editing on. It was a hassle.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I didn't really want to go back to that. But now we've got Canva, it's just so easy. Absolutely love it. Yeah, those two are the main ones for me.
And WordPress. Don't forget WordPress.
I didn't want to bring it up. That's alright.
So, if you could give someone advice for their first role in marketing, what would it be?
I would say, I've done this bit with you, because it's my first experience as well, and I was sort of testing the waters to see how far I could sort of go. I feel like just being creative basically, and saying your opinion about everything, be brutally honest. I feel like you need to be brutally honest, even if someone disagrees with you, but what's the worst case scenario? They disagree with you, okay, whatever, I'll just come up with another idea. But I feel like if they really truly are like a good leader and they want to listen to you, then when you say what your ideas are, they'll really take the time to sort of see your sort of your view of it and how much it could impact the business, I guess. Like, I know as someone with as little experience like me, the first proper marketing job, it will be a bit scary for the sort of business owner to be like, oh my god, like I'm changing all of my ways of, like, all the normal ways that I would do it, and I'm literally handing it over to this other person. It can be scary, but I feel like you just need to be honest. You need to give as many ideas as you can. Just be so creative with it and give your own twist on everything. I feel like, implement as much of that in as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right there. Where any sort of good leader will really take the time to understand what your perspective, what you see, because you're somebody who doesn't have the bias of the business yet.
Yeah.
So especially like coming in fresh, it's actually a massive positive for the business to have someone who doesn't.
It's an outsider looking in, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And there's things that I said that you go, what does that mean? And I go, actually, you're right. Not many people are going to know what that means. Like, if you're not in the AI automation world, then how would you know what that means? That would be strange for you to know. Hell, even the word AI, like a year ago, a lot of people would have thought I was talking about like artificial insemination or something.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's really helpful. It's trust.
If you like the video, let me know if you like it or not, if we should do it again. Bye!